Okay, so in this video I'm going to go over inverse sine, inverse cosine, and inverse tangent. Just because I know that it can get confusing sometimes and you guys haven't really learned that much about it. So basically what sine, cosine, tangent, all that kind of stuff means is it's just an angle side relationship. So if you have your angle theta and you have your side x and your side, actually it might make more sense to have this be side x and this be side y. So if you have sine, for example, you would have sine of an angle, which is theta, is equal to y over z. So basically what it means is when you have regular sine or regular cosine or regular tangent, it just means that whatever is in those parentheses is an angle. So this has to be an angle. You cannot have this number be a side length. It has to be an angle. What inverse sine means is just basically flip-flopping these two. So if you have inverse sine, which is that kind of exponent looking thing, that's what it means. Inverse sine of y over z equals theta, which is your angle. So let's say you have a problem. This might make more sense in the context of a problem. So let's say you have a problem where you have to solve for, I don't know, you have to solve for theta. So you have to solve for this angle, and you're given that this is 10 and this is 5. So you would start off by thinking of it in terms of tangent for this one. So the tangent of an angle equals 10 over 5. You can simplify this, but because you're doing two side lengths, it might just make more sense to leave it in fraction form so you can understand that, oh, that side's 10 and this side is 5. So you say, okay, well, I need to find the angle, so how do I find the angle? Well, you'd have to take the inverse tangent of this problem. So you would turn this into tangent -1, or inverse, of 10 over 5 equals theta. You have to really get used to this because this is something that you're going to be doing for the rest of the year because this class has a lot of trig in it. This is trigonometry, in case you didn't know. So then you'd plug this into a calculator. So just like how you were doing before, you were plugging in like sine of, I don't know, 12 equals 10 over x. Just how, so basically what this means, sine is like a function type of thing. So it just is a number. So then when you solve, you have to find x. So then that means x equals 10 over sine 12. It's the same thing here. So that means the tangent inverse of 10 over 5 is just a number. So you plug that into your calculator, and on your calculator it should be, you might have to press the second button, which is usually located in the top left-hand corner of the calculator, second or alpha or whatever your calculator says to do. And you press like the tangent button if you're looking for inverse tangent. You'll be able to spot it on the calculator, and if you need help with that, just ask someone around you, they'll know. But you'll do that, and then you'll plug in whatever numbers inside these parentheses. So if you have, let's say you have, I don't know, let's say you have the sine, oopsies. Let's say you have the sine of, or the inverse sine of 25 over 3, which is equal to theta. when you're plugging this into the calculator, it should look like this. Sine -1. If your calculator can put in whole fractions, then you can put in whole fractions, but a lot of graphing calculators can't do that. It's just like a train of numbers, so it'll look like this instead of looking like that. That probably won't make any sense until you like look at the difference between the two calculators, but you would want to put it in as sine inverse of 25, whether it's a slash or like this kind of division symbol, over 3, and then you'd solve for whatever that number is. Or if you want to be extra safe, and let's say you have like pi or something else type of thing as part of it, which it could very well be later on, and this will be really helpful to know. So it'd be the inverse sine of, and this works for regular sine too if you're plugging things into your calculator, inverse sine of 25, let's say it was 25 pi. You might want to put in 25 times pi in parentheses within those parentheses, so you have these double parentheses here. 25 times pi, and then do the division symbol over, and then put in other parentheses 3, or whatever your other number is, e, pi, whatever, I if you want to, and then you close that parentheses. You have to make sure to close the parentheses, otherwise it'll like calculate it funny. So always make sure you open and close the parentheses within the numbers that you actually want, and that would also equal theta. So this is basically how you like solve using inverses, and this is like the application for that, this one right here. So just make sure that you're not using inverse sine when you're not solving for an angle. So if you're solving for an angle, use an inverse trig function. If you're solving for a side length, then use the regular. So I'll write that down. If you're solving for a side, use the regular function. And if you're solving for an angle, I'll just abbreviate that as theta, use inverse. So I hope this gives a little more sense, because it seemed like a decent amount of people were confused on the whole inverse situation, what it actually means. So just remember this portion here. That's probably what's going to be the most useful for you. So yeah, that's it.